Hello, in this video I'm going to walk through how to set up a new Google Ads account because it's a request we get from quite a few clients that are starting out with advertising and haven't done it before. So we've got some notes on what to do, but I wanted to go through it properly and show step by step because it is quite a complicated process. This is what's working now, May 2025. Google does change the method, the process and so on from time to time, so it possibly will change in the future, but hopefully relatively close to this. So there's, in our list here, there's 16 steps. Let me start from the top. First up is opening Google Ads. Now, you'll need a Google account, and if you don't have one, they'll prompt you to set one up and log into it. And once you've logged in, you'll come to this screen here. And the first thing to do is to click on the Start Now button. And then you'll be prompted to create a new Google Ads account here. We've got some already. I'm going to start with a completely new one. And a lot of what we're doing in this process is trying to stop Google from doing it for us. So what Google wants to do here is set up the advertising campaign for you, do it in their way, manage it for you. And what we're trying to do is get away from that. For our clients, we're managing their own Google Ads campaigns and we're doing everything properly. One of the reasons for that is Google's obviously motivated to make as much money as possible, which means getting as high a spend on ads as possible. And often that's not really the best solution for our clients. It's trying to get the best return for their investment in advertising. So we want to have a tight control over what's being shown, when it's being shown, who it's being shown to, etc. One thing you'll notice once you set up an account is you will start getting emails purporting to be from Google, which are actually from agencies they use to try and manage advertising campaigns for clients. You can tell it's one of these agencies because I've got the Google page here. They always have the email address, there we are, xwf.google.com. So the email will come from Google, but you'll notice that this is the email address. There's a variety of different agencies. I had a look at this one recently because they contacted us. And one of the challenges always is their motivation is to make Google as much money as possible, whereas your motivation is to get the best return from the investment in Google Ads. So ideally spend as little as possible on adverts, but get as many inquiries as possible. So it's a very conflicting motivation there. I think somewhere I saw on this site before, I think it's this one here, is their case study about working with Google. There we go. So their case study about working with Google is that they've increased revenue by 3.5 times for Google. The easiest way to increase revenue by 3.5 times for Google is to get people to run more ad campaigns, run them for longer, have a higher monthly budget, and so on. And basically, that's what they do. Having had conversations with these companies in the past, they're trying to do a number of things. One is to get you to target more keywords and therefore spend more money. Another is to have a higher daily budget for your adverts. And another is to run the adverts for longer periods of time, 7 days a week, nights, and everything else. All of those things are not necessarily the best way of generating more inquiries. So what I'm going through here, a lot of this is to try and avoid companies like this and Google themselves actually setting up the campaigns for you so it can be done properly. So starting off from here, I'll create your first campaign. That's the first thing that's coming up, and you can see it in my notes here. Pop up saying create your first campaign. The first thing to do is literally not to click on that. Clicking outside it takes us away from that ad campaign. Then we can put in information. So we're okay putting in company details here. So I'm just going to put in test company, the company name, and what I'll do here is put in our website address. Okay, so we're all okay doing those two bits. And then I'm going to click on next. And now they're having a quick look at the website to see what they can find there, because they're trying to suggest to me what sort of campaigns to run and how to do them. So we've got an option to skip here, which is what I wanted. So I've clicked on skip. It's now offering me the connecting with YouTube, connecting with Google Profile, and so on. I'm going to skip on that as well. It's asking me about connecting with Google Analytics. Again, I'm going to skip on that. And really, every opportunity to skip, I'm going to choose. Skipping on that. Skipping on that one. There we go. We can leave the campaign creation. So that's what we've been trying to do, is I've trying to stop them setting up a campaign for me, because what I'm trying to do is set up an ads account, which we as landscape marketers can then set up properly for our client. So now we want to fill this stuff in. So country, United Kingdom, times, I need to change that to United Kingdom time. Currency is fine. You'll need to set up a payments profile here. There's obviously one already in there for our adverts, but you'll need to set one up. Also, you'll need to put in a payment method down here, so that this will all be blank if it's the first time you've set up an advertising campaign. So you'll need to go through and fill all those things in, credit card details and so on. Now, on personalized guidance from Google Ads, so that's a definite no. Otherwise, they'll be forever trying to persuade us to spend more money with them. And I'm going to click on submit there. And just to show you where we are on these notes here. So we did all this skipping here. We skipped the linking accounts, we skipped Google Analytics, we skipped the advertising goal part there. Then we clicked on the leave campaign creation part. Then we got to the account settings, where if I didn't have an existing account, I would have put in billing details, company name, address, and so on. And then the payments profile with credit card details. Then this bit, one personalized guidance from a Google Ads expert. So I clicked no on that. Now it should be showing our account is created. It's going to ask me to verify payment details and so on. I'm going to close that down. So when you set yours up, it will ask you to verify the payment details are correct. I think they take out, there we go, a temporary £10 fee from the card, which they then refund afterwards. So I'm down here. So account created. Tell us about your organization. I'm trying to avoid doing that. See if I can with this. At this point, I don't want to verify my credit card and then have another account that we're not going to use with my credit card details on. But I think I've gone far enough here. I've got to the bottom. And the last thing, if you're a client of ours and we're managing your Google Ads, is we need this number up the top here. So this is your Google Ads account number. We need you to send that number to us. And then what we do is add it to our management account, and you'll get an email from Google saying, is it okay for this company to manage your Google Ads? Say yes to that, and then we can set up the campaigns properly. And then we'll go into your Google Ads account. We'll set up campaigns for the different things. So we're doing landscaping, garden design, tree surgery, whatever it is, we'll set up campaigns for each of those and get it running properly. And we are obviously experts in this industry. You know, this is the only industry we're working in, so we know what works best, what type of advert text, type of keywords, etc., are working best. So we're going to base it on that. The problem with the likes of these companies I mentioned before, they are well, they're all over the world. Predominantly, they're in Asia. I think these ones, when they called me, I think they were in Asia. I think it was this Bangalore office that called me previously. They don't know the UK market. They don't know what middle-aged homeowner is searching for on Google and what words are going to persuade them to click on an advert They're looking more at, if you spend more money on advertising, if you advertise for more keywords, you'll get more visits to the website. But actually, we don't want that. We want the right kind of person coming in, the right kind of person clicking on the advert. So it does take a lot of local speciality to understand, the motivation, the interest, and so on of your ideal customers. So um, that's why we do it in that way. So really, once that's all done, last thing is, you're all through. You click on save at the end, and then just send over to us the number up there, and then we can get on and set everything up. So hopefully that makes sense. There's a lot of steps to it, but most of the steps are clicking on the skip button where it's available. And the only tricky one, if you like, is this bit when the pop-up at the beginning says create your first campaign, not clicking on that, and there is no skip button. But if you click in the background of the page, it will take you away from that.